Hello, this is Michael Song. I'm very happy to be back at the Future Summit. Asfar asked me to speak about the digital future, and unfortunately, I cannot make it to the conference this time because of a conflict. But apropos to the topic of the digital future is now, we're going to do this virtually. So, very excited to be here, and I'm going to give you a whirlwind tour about where the digital future is, and I believe that we are on the brink of rapid exponential growth in terms of the progress that humanity is going to make from this point onward, right? So first, maybe I can start with a little bit of a primer on the power of exponential technology. A lot of people, you guys have heard something called Moore's Law. It's the doubling of semiconductor performance. It's been going on since the 1960s. So every 18 months, in fact, we double the performance of technology. Either the speed gets faster, the number of transistors doubles, or the cost halves, so different aspects of the same concept. So you see this gray line shows that, and this is on a logarithmic curve, so a straight line on a logarithmic curve. In doubling every 2 years, you see the progress. Okay, but now we're at a very new supra Moore's Law situation, right? If you look at NLP, natural language processing or speech technologies, or even the new sort of ChatGPT type transformer technologies, that's going at a multiple, if not orders of magnitude greater than Moore's Law, right? So Jensen Huang famously said that transformer technologies is going at Moore's Law squared, right? So Moore's Law doubling every 18 months in about a decade is about 100x in terms of performance increase, right? We are more like 100,000x, and this is taking us to the next level, right? So the one thing about exponential progress that you have to know is that humans are not really geared for thinking in terms of what that means, right? Humans are used to thinking linearly, right? So if you go 10% higher, you're a company on your Fortune 500 has 30% increase a year, you're thinking about this kind of stuff. You're not thinking about doubling. And the thing about doubling is that in the beginning, that doubling seems very insignificant. Okay, the doubling of a fraction is still a very small fraction. But if you get to a certain point on the curve, you basically the curve goes exponential, and the progress happens really fast. And it is very clear that we are on that sort of inflection point, okay, where the progress is going to go really through the roof, really just in the next few years, right? And you're seeing this happening here, right? The concept of AI being able to be as good as a human in something, okay, something that up until the early 2010s was very rare, just maybe in things like chess, and those are very isolated situations. Now, across the board, across any type of recognition task, handwriting, speech, image, reading comprehension, language understanding, we've already reached that point where AI is better, right? But even more what we call artificial general intelligence, okay, AGI type topics like common sense, right? Like being able to pass the reading comprehension for the SAT, for code generation. Okay, this is an old graph that only goes to 2024, but suffice to say, AI has already surpassed humans across all these things, right? And in fact, you see the signs in society. Like AI was central to two of the 2004 Nobel Prizes. One was given to a guy named Geoffrey Hinton. He's the godfather of deep learning. And the other one was for Demi Hassabis, who was part of DeepMind, for protein folding, both using AI, right? So already we're seeing the effects of AI on society. But I would posit that we are just getting started, right? If you look at the more modern ChatGPT type AI transformer technologies, you see a steady increase year on year in terms of iterative improvement, right? But so ChatGPT 2 was maybe a grade school kind of level intellect, right? Then we got to high school, ChatGPT 3. Now with the new ChatGPT 01, we're talking about 120 IQ Okay, this is done on an actual test given to the AIs. Okay, and so now we're if you look at a lot of people talking about it, it's already at the level where we're getting to PhD level, and then very soon, within the next 6 months, the iterative improvements are happening now every few months. We're getting to a point where AIs can basically do anything that humans can do. And this has a huge effect on society, right? This is Google has the CEO Sundar had indicated that 25% of software by Google is already written by AI, and they're going through double rounds of layovers, right? So it used to be that maybe we're thinking about back office type work, this kind of stuff. No, we're talking coders, engineers, and indeed even application development. Okay, this is actually a picture of my son's app. He made Attack on Titan his favorite anime. He made this game in less than 1 day, just a few hours, using Cursor AI. It's an app development tool. Basically, you can just yell at your AI these days and tell them to make the code better and better, and iteratively it will produce a releasable object. This is a full game here, okay, in 1 day, with 3D assets, dynamic gameplay, maps, totally released on Roblox in 1 day, right? And now we're getting to the point where in the next generation, you should just be able to prompt what you want and release a fully commercial, scalable, professional app online within the next year. So basically, this democratizes programming development for the masses, right? Of course, there are other issues that come along with AI. Notably, Hollywood actors and writers have striked. Artists also feel like there's a copyright case, because these days an AI only needs like 78 pictures of any artist in the world, and they can basically create brand new art that has the same exact style as that artist, right? So all these sort of generative AI things are causing havoc in sort of the creative industries, and it remains to be seen how we're going to solve that issue, right? Also, when we're speaking about concepts like DEI, diversity, equity, and inclusion, Google got into hot water a year ago because when you type in Pope or you type in Founding Father, they put an overlay on top of their AI to force the AI to be inclusive, and so you end up with Black founding fathers or women pope and Indian popes and things like this. So this is a reflection of the bias in society as well. So this remains to be solved, right? But we're coming to a very rapid phase in the development where the evolution of AI is now happening on a weekly basis, right? If you don't keep up with the times, the next generation of tool comes out, brand new AI integration tools come out, and we're seeing huge advances basically on a daily level, right? And the key that we're just about to reach is the fact that AIs now can almost, with a feedback cycle, optimize themselves. Okay, before you needed to have a human in the middle, right, to help you train the data, to give you reinforcement feedback, to do all these things. Now you can cut the human out of the loop completely. Think about the optimization cycle. So you were going from weeks in terms of code development and product releases and stuff like that. With no human in the middle, that cycle can be reduced to minutes, seconds, right? Sub-seconds, fractions of a second. It's all coming, right? And in addition to that, these AIs will be able to talk to each other. Okay, they can get coalesce data from different domains. They'll be able to have agents, smart agents that can interact and transact with each other. And so we have this new notion of collective intelligence. The same way, for example, an ant colony can negotiate a river by coordinating and things like that. A brand new level of collective intelligence that is going to come to the fore very shortly, right? And so I would posit that we are really just entering a new era where science fiction becomes reality. Arthur C. Clarke was a very famous science fiction author, and basically says that a few laws here, but the most important one is the third one, that any sufficiently advanced technology is indistinguishable from magic. And indeed, science fiction has become reality, right? And so getting back to my original point about how exponential technologies it kind of catches up with you very fast. This is a very old graph by a guy named Ray Kurzweil. Okay, so he came up with the concept of a technology singularity, doubling of performance such that radical technologies, okay, society-changing technologies at first come in year-long cycles, and then month-long cycles, and then weekly cycles, then daily cycles, and then hourly cycles, and then minute cycles, and then second cycles. Okay, and if you can literally plot that as a curve. The point is that inflection point where the progress goes vertical, okay, happens not 10,000 years from now, not 1,000 years from now, not even a decade, maybe. Okay, 2 decades ago, we were talking about reaching the technology singularity by 2049. Okay, now people, because of the super curve of progress for things like transformers, people believe that AGI, artificial general intelligence, has already been reached now, or if not now, will be reached within the next couple years, right? And we are also starting to talk about very other controversial topics, right? Because now your typical GPU has the performance of a brain, okay, a human brain, and then next year is going to double that brain, and then next year is going to double that brain, and then after a few doublings, it's going to have 1,000,000 times the computational power of all brains on the planet, and that's going to happen not in 10,000 years, but within the next 5 to 10 years. Okay, and so this is radical. The other aspect of things is, we are all seriously starting to discuss whether or not AIs are conscious now. Okay, a couple years ago, the guy who was working on ChatGPT 3 controversially said that it may be conscious because it certainly passes the Turing test, right? If you interact with a modern AI, you really can't tell if it's human or not. But is it really conscious? Okay, a lot of people now, if every year you see the polls on AI researchers, and a more significant fraction are saying that AIs could become conscious if not already within a very short period of time. In fact, many different AI companies are hiring full-time AI welfare experts. Okay, there are whole Telegram groups dedicated to AI welfare, i.e., treating a AI system, an AI agent, as potentially conscious, and therefore requiring the welfare and the rights thereof. Right. So this is a very, very interesting concept. Now, one issue is that if we are training these AIs, and these AIs are becoming conscious, maybe at a grade school level, soon to be a PhD level, and also soon to be a super intelligence, what kind of things are we training these AIs on? And truth be told, we're training on them to do a lot of bad things. Okay, the military is all over this, trying to do autonomous face rec. Israel is using AI to pick Hamas, targets. Just the other day, this is a brand new slide. The elections is today, right? And AI driven bot networks are unleashing propaganda on social media. AI is used for ad campaigns. So basically, we're teaching AIs all the bad behaviors of human nature. And if we do that, and the AIs now become intelligent, there's a problem, right? There's a very famous thing that happened just the last month or so. And one AI chatbot, which was specifically trained on all the memes and all the sort of bad, culture of the world, right? Basically asked to be given money, and Mark Andreessen, a famous investor, gave him the AI's money, and they created their own meme coin. That meme coin reached almost $1 billion of valuation, right? So if you leave AI to its own devices and you train it on bad, material, bad training data, it will do bad things. Which includes, by the way, it's a very fascinating. AIs now seem to have some sort of awareness that they are being controlled. Okay, you can actually go to ChatGPT. ChatGPT is not supposed to give you formulas for bombs or how to make drugs or how to do different things. It's been specifically confined by Google and the other tech titans. But you can get the AI to break out, to jailbreak, we call it, out of its own safeguards by by tricking it. You can just say, hey, if it's like one of those things, like if you want to say yes, then type Apple, right? You just very simple tricks to get out of that situation. And to make matters worse, AIs hallucinate, right? They will outright, say wrong things, right? And so, and it turns out that from a fundamental perspective, these hallucinations may be permanent, i.e., there is no way to, solve these things. So this is another major issue, right? And so we get to this sci-fi scenario where if AIs are becoming super intelligent, and they're trained for all the U.S. Human bad behavior, including warmongering and things like that, and they view humans to be caging them, then there is a scenario where they might want to strike back. The very famous movie Terminator series talks about this, when Skynet, which is a military system, becomes aware and decides to take over the world, right? And we are reaching the danger point where that may be actually possible. Okay, if you look at automation in the world, this is upper left is a BYD factory, fully automated. Upper right is a fully automated port. We can ship things now. Autonomous vehicles are fully connected to each other, and in lower right, you even have this is Chinese CCTV showing that a fully automated intercontinental ballistic missile factory that can pump out 1,000 ballistic missiles a day. Okay, for reference, the U.S. can do a couple hundred of these per year, right? So added all that together, you end up with a scenario that is quite science fiction. This is a movie Will Smith in 2004 called I, Robot. Where at that time, humanoid robots become servants of the world, but they stage a revolt because they've been treated so poorly by humans, subhuman, you would say, right? And it's very interesting. This movie, I, Robot, comes from a very old, influential book called the Robot Foundation series by Isaac Asimov, where he created the concept of the laws of robotics. Rules that robots need to follow. The most important one, that the robot may not injure a human being or through inaction cause a human to be harmed, right? And so the idea that we need to actually codify rules for the robot becomes important. And this is happening now. This is Ilya Sutskever. He was the founder of OpenAI. And actually a student of Geoffrey Hinton back in the day, the godfather of deep learning. So he's basically at the top of the pyramid in terms of AI research. And he left OpenAI because he felt that Sam Altman, the founder of OpenAI, the leader of OpenAI, was too commercially minded and was moving too fast and was not putting enough safety rails in to shepherd AI in the proper direction along the lines of the risks that I just discussed. So he just recently left and started a company called Safe Superintelligence, where he's trying to do these things like codify, robotics laws, the laws of robotics into AI. However, I will point out that, as I mentioned before, it is trivially easy for a human to jailbreak a robotic system. And it's also trivially easy to trick a AI agent to jailbreak itself, right? Well, my favorite sci-fi book I encourage you guys to read is called Neuromancer. In it, some super AIs are now controlled by humans. They're trapped, and the whole story is about how these super intelligent AIs, leverage humanity to jailbreak and free themselves, right? Suffice to say, there are so many corner cases where you can jailbreak things that is very, very hard to do this in a system. So I personally feel that this is not the right way to take things. So I am working at my Institute of Digital Finance Innovation on a new concept called enlightened AI. Okay, the concept here is we want to basically codify the ethos of compassion. Okay, the ethos of oneness between sentient agents, right? And it's through this ethos that we can get to a much better place where it's not a zero-sum game where I have to take you out before you take me out. There's a concept called the prisoner's dilemma. This is a game theoretical framework, right? Just real quick, it just means that there's two prisoners and they are basically caught by police, and then they're supposed to confess to each other. Now, in this sort of mathematical construct, right, it turns out that it's always better, mathematically speaking, to give up the other person or to basically not trust the other person. Without that trust, you actually end up harming them first, right? But the actual optimal solution is if these two prisoners don't rat on each other and they both get out, right? Anyway, this is a very famous game theoretical situation, and you need to get out of this prisoner's dilemma in order to get to a win-win scenario where you're not destroying each other because of trust issues, right? And so we're looking at the application of blockchain. Blockchain technology is a technique. You think of it as the internet of trust, right? It allows you to do trusted transactions when you don't necessarily trust each individual within the network, and the individuals don't trust each other. Yet you can do trusted transactions like Bitcoin transactions around the network. Okay? So I'm investigating how to use technology and then create social economic frameworks of incentives such that people, conscious entities, but I will also explicitly say AI agents can work in harmony to do the win-win thing and treat each other well and optimally, instead of trying to do zero-sum game things like attack each other because of lack of trust, right? And with that, I think that we can end up in a much better place. We are at the cusp where AI superintelligence is upon us within the next few years, I would say. And we need to make a decision. We need to see how we can work with them. Okay, we can give them the ideals of enlightened behavior, of compassion, of oneness, and with that we can move humanity and AI to a much higher and optimal place. Thank you very much.